You don't think you will ever change and write books that incorporate white lives into them substantially?
I have done.
In a substantial way?
You can't understand how powerfully racist that question is, can you? Because you could never ask a white author, when are you going to write about black people? Whether he did or not, or she did or not. Even the inquiry comes from a position of being in the center.
And being used to being in the center.
And being used to being in the center. And saying, you know, is it ever possible that you will enter the mainstream? It's inconceivable that where I already am is the mainstream.
They looked at just 12 southern states between 1877 to 1950. Turns out there were 3,959 victims of what they call racial terror lynchings.
My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens.
I don't know what most white people in this country feel. I can only include what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know as Malcolm X once put it, the most neglected hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That's a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means I can't afford to trust most white Christians and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their union. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks that give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma.
In my opinion, the young generation of whites, blacks, browns, whatever else there is, you're living at a time of extremism, a time of revolution, a time when there's got to be a change. People in power have misused it, and now there has to be a change, and a better world has to be built, and the only way it's going to be built is with extreme methods. And I, for one, will join in with anyone, don't care what color you are, as long as you want to change this miserable condition that exists on this earth.
What the gay rights ordinance in San Francisco, the main focus is to prevent the people who are already employed, who are gay, who, if they want to come out and break down the stereotypes, prevents them from being fired.
I am not calling the gentleman, Mr. Meadows, a racist for doing so. I'm saying that in itself, it is a racist act.
Is this the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh! Is this a land with liberty and justice for all? Oh! Is this one nation, indivisible, under God? Oh! Either let us practice the democracy we are preaching, or shut up.
Well, there's no single simple meaning of the term revolutionary. A revolutionary is a man or a woman who is a lot of things, but basically the revolutionary wants to change the nature of society in a way to promote a world where the needs and interests of the people are responded to.
It doesn't take much to look on the local news every night and see how many black kids, black boys, black men are being killed with these stand your ground defenses that these people raise. Then they get off. I am a mother
2. And I have a son. And I care as much for my son as y'all care for y'all's. But my son doesn't walk the same path as yours does.
FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover today asserted that the Black Panthers represent the greatest internal threat to the nation.
Every incident that have been tipped off in this country in the last 2 years up north have been tipped off by uniformed police. Now, I'm not saying the police is right or wrong. I'm saying when you have these incidents that's tipped off with this one symbol, then we should look into it and see what it is. When 22 million people, be they black or white, start hollering police brutality, then it's time to start listening to 22 million people and going in. A lot of people say, well, it's not police brutality. Police brutality is not when a cop necessarily knocks me upside the head. It's when a cop calls me nigger when he's making the arrest. It's when he handles me wrongly in every process of processing the arrest. This is a form of police brutality.
America's not unique in its sins as a country. We're not unique in our evils. I think where we may be singular is our refusal to acknowledge them and the legends and myths we tell about our inherent, goodness to hide and cover and conceal so that we can maintain a kind of willful ignorance that protects our innocence. I've had the privilege of growing up in a tradition that didn't believe in the myths and the legends because we had to bear the brunt of them.
Republicans in February blocked Senator Bernie Sanders' bill to provide $21 billion in medical and other benefits for veterans.
When our men and women come home from war, some wounded in body, some wounded in spirit, I don't want to hear people telling me it's too expensive to take care of those wounded veterans. I don't accept that. If you think it's too expensive to take care of veterans, don't send them to war.
Back in 1998, a black man, James Byrd Jr., accepted a ride from 3 white men. Instead of taking him home, they drove him down a remote Jasper County road, beat him and dragged him for 3 miles behind their pickup truck.
I am, I think, quite disgusted, really, to be honest, that as Muslim legislators, we are constantly being asked to waste our time speaking to issues that other people are not asked to speak to, because the assumption exists is that we somehow support and are for, right? There is an assumption. So I want to make sure that the next time someone is in an audience and is looking at me and Rashida and Abdul and Sam, that they ask us the proper questions that they will probably ask any member of Congress.
I think the only thing that's really changed is the black woman.
If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me, and you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you'll lie to me, because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell. Because I love you, I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man? For 10 years, so that we can get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at mother. He talked to me about school today.
How many bales of cotton have you picked? How many beatings have you taken? He couldn't say nothing.
Earlier today, we heard the beginning of the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. We the people. It's a very eloquent beginning. But when that document was completed on the 17th of September in 1787, I was not included in that we the people. I felt somehow for many years that George Washington and Alexander Hamilton just left me out by mistake. But through the process of amendment, interpretation, and court decision, I have finally been included in we the people.
A boy last week, he was 16 in San Francisco, told me on television. Thank God we got him to talk. maybe somebody will start to listen. He said, I got no country, I've got no flag. Now he's only 16 years old. And I couldn't say you do. I don't have any evidence to prove that he does. They were tearing down his house. We were talking about human beings. There's not such a thing as a monolithic wall or, some abstraction called the Negro problem. It's Negro boys and girls who at 16 and 17 don't believe the country means anything that it says, don't feel they have any place here, on the basis of the performance of the entire country.
Well, now, Jim...
No, am I exaggerating?
No, I certainly could not say that you're exaggerating.
My name is Legacy Garner, the daughter of Drew Miller and my dad, Eric Garner. No justice, no peace.
A slim majority, but a majority of Democrats in Virginia support Medicare for all, 46% opposed. Again, this is a Sanders-Biden battle right there that's shaping up. And this last finding in Virginia may be one of the most fascinating. Look at this. We asked...
You don't think you will ever change and write books that incorporate white lives into them substantially?
I have done.
In a substantial way?
You can't understand how powerfully racist that question is, can you? Because you could never ask a white author, when are you going to write about black people? Whether he did or not, or she did or not. Even the inquiry comes from a position of being in the center.
And being used to being in the center.
And being used to being in the center. And saying, is it ever possible that you will enter the mainstream? It's inconceivable that where I already am is the mainstream.
They looked at just 12 southern states between 1877 to 1950. Turns out there were 3,959 victims of what they call racial terror lynchings.
My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens.
I don't know what most white people in this country feel. I can only include what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know as Malcolm X once put it, the most segregated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That says a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means that I can't afford to trust most white Christians and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their unions. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks I give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Slavery was justified morally, biologically.
So what do we got going on here? What's happening? What's going on? March 3rd. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you can all hear me. I'm gonna try to go live on IG right quick. Hopefully everybody in California is out voting right now. I am in New York. Got my absentee vote. Absentee. I can hardly talk. But how's everybody? What's the word? You know what? I should have titled this The Establishment Takeover. Oh, did I? I did. This is like, I don't know y'all remember the song by Jay-Z, The Takeover? Y'all remember that song, The Takeover? That's what we can call this. Because they really put their,
their finger on the scale. They really put their finger on the scale last night. I'm sure you all know the little tomfoolery they did last night. Hold on, let me try to go live right quick on here so they can see. You know what I'm saying? So y'all aware of the tomfoolery that persisted last night. And if you guys don't think that, let's see, Jesus Christ, come on. And if you guys don't think that Obama had his foot in what happened last night, you're completely mistaken. If you don't think that Obama, he's acting like he want to stay out of it, but Obama had all of a sudden, man, how can I set this up? I should just set this up on my camera. All of a sudden, you have Pete Buttigieg and you have Amy Klobuchar, who Pete Buttigieg was doing better than Biden. Outside of North Carolina, Klobuchar, all of them had done better than Biden. All of a sudden, Biden get this endorsement and he wins one small state, one small conservative, especially in the Democratic Party. It's a conservative state. And all of a sudden, everybody dropping out and backing. I guarantee if excuse me, if just so happens that Biden were to win, like Amy, Pete is really submitting himself. He's looking, he's playing chess, not checkers. He's looking like, okay, I'm about to be the establishment's wonder kid. So I'm gonna go with and then you got Beto O'Rourke, man. Boy, if Beto O'Rourke if he didn't duke us, how fake is he? How disingenuous is he? He was so progressive, and all of a sudden, it falls off, and now he's Joe Biden. That's almost like Elizabeth Warren endorsing Hillary Clinton in 2016. That lets you know where their morals lay. Obviously, it lays right next to their pockets in their political careers. But he was never one of us for sure. I know body politics. He definitely wasn't one of us for sure. But it is Super Tuesday, so I hope everybody in California that you're getting your votes in. I know it's going to be all day. But stay in that line. Let's show up and show out for Bernie and let the establishment know that ain't nothing cracking. And you guys that's on IG, y'all can go to Twitter, or my Twitter or YouTube and check me out. I'm live on there right now. But yeah, let's show out and show off. So I have to, a friend of mine, parents is leaving today, so I'm gonna go check them out in a little bit. So I'm only gonna be on here for a minute. Let me see but we're gonna be following this this Super Tuesday, I don't know, what would you call it? Have you guys ever watched The Sopranos? No, this ain't Sopranos. This is... This is not Sopranos. This is like Game of Thrones takeover. This is like some Game of Thrones shit, for real. All of a sudden, everybody and they said it's unprecedented. You've never seen anything like this. The next day, you have two candidates that drop out having an about face and endorse Joe Biden. And then you have Elizabeth Warren, who all of a sudden received an endorsement, not endorsement, but received money from a super PAC. And now she hasn't won anything. And she's not dropping out of the race. Obviously, we know that could possibly take some delegates from Bernie. And to me, it's like, you know, for their side, for the takeover, for the establishment, at least they're doing the right thing. The right thing is, oh, we want our politics to go forward, so we're going to all consolidate and give. I mean, first off, just because, you know, just because Buttigieg and Klobuchar are more in the middle, centrist, center-left Democrats, doesn't mean that their supporters are going to automatically fall into Joe Biden's lap. You know, that's just, I mean, statistically, you have most of Joe Biden's supporters, second choice is Bernie. Most of Amy Klobuchar's second choice is Elizabeth Warren. You know, they would rather have a woman, you know, so no one knows where the chips are going to fall. Hey, Andrea, how are you? Look, you got me shit eating granted. Hey, Andrea, if you check me out on like Twitter or Facebook or something, you'll see the graphic behind me and you'll be able to hear me better if you want to do that. Hi, thank you for the birthday wish, too. I appreciate you, man. But this is the issue. We have a takeover. And rightfully so, you know, it's chess, not checkers, right? You do what you got to do. The centrist, the middle of the road, the center left. I don't even want to say center left. I'd rather say center right Democrats that want their politics to be in the forefront, in the mainstream, to be the platform that's running for the ticket, consolidated all their people together and said, F it, we're going all out. Look like Bernie is going to catch up to us, so we're going to go all out. Progressives should be doing the same thing. If morally this is what you want, if this is a part of who you are, if it's not about a political career, and these are ideas that you stand for, then you say, okay, I believe in these politics, so let me go ahead and consolidate. Let me go ahead and drop out because I'm not winning and endorse Bernie because Bernie is more close to my politics is what I'm thinking Elizabeth should be doing. But she obviously isn't. So what does that say?
Say my hospital shut down, right? The hospital. So if you had a heart attack, you had to travel 35 miles to the nearest hospital. And not only did that hospital, people just think that's somewhere you go. Unfortunately, too many people go for primary care. But that also was an economic hub. It was the second largest employer in the county. Around it, you had floral shops, you had pharmacies, you had all of these things. And so while we're having a lot of these other conversations, there's a great deal of fear that is going into this discussion about healthcare. And people sometimes, while we're having it, I hear this more often than not.
Yeah, there's a great deal of fear when we talk about healthcare. You know what's amazing? I'm watching CNN as well while I'm doing this, but all of a sudden everybody's about healthcare. Healthcare is a great thing, and now we need it. But before, people were like, we can't do Medicare for all. Now we can do Medicare for all, huh? That's interesting. Ooh, I am frustrated. You know what? This is how it goes, though. This is how it's supposed to go. When you're on a certain side, you play to win, and they're playing to win. They're playing to win. You can't. I mean, I can be frustrated because, I'm going for Bernie, but they doing what they supposed to do, right? You know, they're centrist. They don't like Bernie's. I mean, I even had some guy on CNN today. I forgot his name. He said he's a Republican. He's a Republican, and he said, I registered as a Democrat to vote against Bernie Sanders. I felt like it was my duty as an American. That's deep. This is a Republican. A Republican. And he's a commentator, he's a contributor on CNN. To save his country. Oh, Lord. So you know what? One of the things we need to realize as well is that, hold on, let me adjust this right quick. Let's go do this right quick. It got hot real quick. Hold on. Ooh. Exactly. Exactly.
I am saying how it is being interpreted by the people who are on the listening side of this, which is nothing is going to change, whether he meant that or not. And I don't think he meant that. I think that the people who are out there who are listening to him, they're saying, wait a minute, everything about my life seems to be disrupted and has to change.
Exactly.
So I need something more urgent, more insistent, more passionate.
Yep.
And something that reflects the fact that you see me and my lived experience.
And I think that's the thing too that he brought up. They're talking about the campaign. I wish I could show you. Sometimes when you show lives of when you show their live, you can show clips of their videos, but when you show their lives, they'll get you and just shut this whole thing down. But they're talking about how Bernie's message, Joe Biden's messaging is talking about wanting to return to normalcy, wanting to return back to what we're used to. And shit hasn't been good for black people of color when Obama was in office, when George Bush was in office. It didn't change because Trump was just a more arrogant example of everything that we've already been going through. So this is what they're talking about, his messaging. And another thing is, who is he talking to, right? Like the people that he's talking to, because hold on, okay, my bad. Who is he talking to? Like, who is his appeal? You know what I'm saying? Because if he wanted to unify, the party, he would be talking to Bernie supporters. He's not even talking to Bernie supporters at all. You know what I mean? He's almost as if they're over there, we're over here. Bro, you're not going to win. You may win a nomination, which you're not. But if you were to win a nomination, remember what happened in 2016? You don't think that's going to happen right now again? People will stay home or vote for a third party. They will not be effing with you. I'm telling you, on everything. They will not be messing with you at all. And so what we need, what's going on there, everybody that's on IG, go to Twitter, go to my Twitter, or go to YouTube or Facebook, and you'll be able to see the graphic and everything. Right now, you just see the stuff behind because they don't have a stream key. What's up, Brody? And what you want to do is look at 2016. I guarantee you, I already know, because I've been traveling. I've been talking to people that are Bernie supporters, and they ain't going for it. Especially now, they upset about what happened last night. They feel like that was what happened last night was Obama tipping the scale. Backroom deals. All of a sudden, we got two of the top. And when I say top, obviously Bernie was killing all of them, but it's two of the top conservative Democrats automatically jump out at the same time, and then they endorse Joe Biden, and then you have Beto O'Rourke punk ass come out of the blue and endorse him. You know what I'm saying? They playing that Game of Thrones, and I get it. That's what they supposed to do. That they on their side. I'm mad because obviously I'm mad because I'm biased. I get that. I ain't gonna stunt in front and act like I'm not frustrated because they pulled one, they did a good one. That's what they're supposed to do, though. They're supposed to do a good one. But what they're not understanding is what's significant now about Super Tuesday, about tonight, is not even how many delegates. Bernie's going to get the most delegates. Now they're just trying to, what they're trying to say now is, well, how many delegates? How much is he going to win by? That's not really what matters. You know what matters is where he wins. Because in the general election, certain states we're not going to get because those are more red states, ruby red states. So there's a lot of southern states that we're just not going to get because they're Republican, they're majority. Just like Republicans aren't going to win California. You know what I'm saying? So there are certain states in the general election. Right now, it's the Democratic primary. So it's only Democrats voting. So you'll be able to win in each state as a Democrat. But when we get into the general election, what matters right now is what states that they're winning in. You know what I mean? Because this is going to be what carries, what allows us to get the number of delegates needed, electoral votes needed to win the presidency. That's what's going to matter. So as we look into Super Tuesday, what's up, y'all? Let me see, as we look into Super Tuesday. Damn, did I put that there? Let's see, Super Tuesday. I'm just looking for Super Tuesday right quick. Thought I had some notes in here. Where my notes at? You know what else is funny to me is that for a second they have finally leaned into Biden being the nominee, right? They finally leaned into it, and then soon as Biden wins the here it is. Is this it right here? Soon as Biden win the South Carolina, all of a sudden the comeback kid, this is America, this guy, come on, man, come on, bro. But this is all a part of like manufactured consent. The more that they try to tell you that a guy is going to win, the more that they're depending on people's ignorance to believe that, because a lot of people they're like I said before, they come in late. They come in right now. They come in after the primaries. They're coming in general, and they're looking at who is the establishment talking about the most, like who's the establishment talking about corporate media now, who they're referring to the most, who's the more electable candidate, you know what I'm saying? And obviously they don't know the more electable candidate, because in 2016 the most electable candidate was who? Hillary Rodham Clinton. And where is she at? I'll wait. Like I said, so the states today, Alabama, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, and Virginia. And American Samoa and the people that's abroad, they get to have their votes today as well. I would say we have to think about the states that now, it's not, I mean, he's going to win delegates, and it doesn't matter how much. It matters where he wins. That's what's going to matter, because going into the election, it's going to matter where he wins. To be able to get, let me see how many electoral votes. Excuse me. So to get to 270, you need 270 electoral votes to win the presidency, right? And that's what really matters. That's where it all stands. It's about your electoral votes. Let me see. And
This may be Saturday when Biden won the South Carolina primary. They sense his viability. They've also picked up on Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar dropping out of the race.
so they're talking about now a lot of people changing their mind. Well, 50% of people already voted in early voting, so they're really betting on a lot of people changing their mind because of Biden winning in South Carolina. But this shit is making me smoke. But let's look at Super Tuesday. This is what The Hill is talking about. The Hill is my go-to. First off, let's look at these attacks. Let's see what The Hill is talking about. All right. Mic check. I'm gonna start with y'all.
I think it's pretty clear Bernie will win there. Although I did see the poll that had Bloomberg. Let's see what we got here. He'll win some states. Biden will win others. I think for me, the key swing state to look, we'll see.
We agonized over this one.
Yeah. Look, overall, I think we both expect it to be a bit of a mixed bag. Bernie will win some states. Biden will win others. I think for me, the key swing state to look at will be Texas. That was the one that I had the hardest time deciding on, but let's just go down the list and see what we got here.
Okay, let's start with Maine. What do we think, Crystal?
I think Bernie's a favorite in Maine. Vermont also, I think it's pretty clear Bernie will win there. Although I did see the poll that had Bloomberg doing well in Maine, so you never know what could happen. But I think Bernie pulls it off there.
Okay, so then the more important states, Virginia and North Carolina. These big delegate rich. Virginia, a place where Sanders might have had a chance, but really we've begun to see Biden kind of consolidate the support.
Yeah.
That's one of those states where Data for Progress in particular really saw him shoot up to double-digit numbers post South Carolina. The Northern Virginia consistency, it's kind of the perfect suburban
It's a suburban state
for Biden.
Yeah. Look, Virginia has 99 delegates at stake. North Carolina has 110, so both pretty good hauls there. And yeah, I think those are both states where the consolidation of older African Americans and suburban voters around Biden is going to be enough to put him over the top. Massachusetts. I think Bernie pulls off the win there, especially with Warren performing so poorly in South Carolina. The Bernie folks have obviously been making a big...
people on IG, if you go, you can see the graphic if you go on my on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, but they're talking about how the states that Bernie will be able to win in tonight, going into Super Tuesday, well, being in Super Tuesday right now. And they're talking about California, Utah, Texas. Texas is one of those swing states where it can go, because they're, Texas, they're starting, they got a lot of we saw the pendulum shift a little bit when Beto O'Rourke, when he was in Texas and he ran for Senate. We saw that he only won, I think he lost by like 7 points or 5 points or something like that. It was real close margin, and it had never been that close for a Democrat in a national race like that. And so you see the population changing. You have a lot of more Latinos there. So that is also going to be in play during the general election, just like Florida will be. Florida's always up in the air. You know, it can go either way. I think Florida looks good for us because of what happened in Puerto Rico. I think you got a lot of people that had to migrate to either Florida or New York because of during Hurricane Maria. I think that's going to influence Florida this year, and also a lot of you have the kids that had the shooting in Florida that were protesting. Like, those kids are 18 now, and you got a lot of other kids that are 18 that are able to vote that are very engaged and upset, and it's more in play than a lot of people are actually talking about on mainstream media. But let's go back to what they're saying.
Play to win there, him campaigning directly in the state, and I think he will pull that off tonight.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, Data for Progress was kind of mixed on this, but my view is that, Warren is underperforming. It's just the lack of earned media, the lack of organization over and over again. So if we're going to go in the margin, we should give it to Bernie there. I mean, you saw the crowd that he was able to draw in Massachusetts. It was absolutely huge.
13,000, Boston Common, I think, were the numbers.
Right. So let's move down to the South.
Yeah, let's take a look at the South.
All right, Alabama. So I think no secret that Joe Biden's probably going to win Alabama. Significant African or older African American population there. And then Arkansas, that's another place where he has a lot of natural strength. Tennessee, that's another. These are all kind of communities with a little bit more of a suburban, older, conservative base. But we shouldn't, discount, like you were talking about. Sanders has very high numbers in Tennessee because of Appalachia, because of, there's like a populist, strong support there. People who have Trump and Bernie crossover. So you shouldn't underwrite that significantly.
Yeah, and also, we're thinking about the folks in Tennessee today with the horrific tornadoes that have left a death toll there. And, on a more mundane level, will certainly be impacting people's ability to get out and vote. But of those southern states, when we're looking at Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama.
That's true, too. That hurricane killed a lot of people. I think it's like 22 people dead right now. My mother, my actual mother, actually lives there, and I checked on them. I called my brother earlier, and he said everything was solid, everybody good. My brother, one of my brothers, and them, they all stay out there in Tennessee. Let's see what they're talking about.
Has some momentum. Sanders is expected to perform strongest in the West and in the Northeast, while Biden, we think, could rack up some delegates across the South. Michael Bloomberg and Elizabeth Warren are fighting to trip up.
But see, and that's what I'm trying to say right now. Like, Biden winning a lot of delegates in the South means nothing, because as we go into, because those southern states are red states. Those are red states, and we're, for the most part, Tennessee, states like that, a Democrat ain't going to win in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? A Democrat isn't going to win in a state like, they're not going to win in Tennessee. They're not going to win in a state like, they may win in Utah, but probably that's a swing as well. They're not going to win in North Carolina. Probably they'll win. I think Obama won in North Carolina. I think Hillary won in North Carolina too. So but that's a swing state as well. They call that purple. It's like blue and red kind of. Yeah, let's continue.
Tennessee, Oklahoma, Arkansas. I think Biden will win all of those southern states. The one where he actually is the closest, Bernie, is Tennessee. The other one where he could potentially pull off an upset, just because we know that the Sanders campaign has been organizing underserved communities there, is Arkansas. So I would take a look at that.
What's up,
but
everybody,
I think this will be a very good night for Joe Biden.
Go to my Twitter or my
YouTube,
South
Carolina win.
And y'all be able to see the graphics and everything that everybody else seeing. You can't see them on IG.
Let's go to Oklahoma out of the way. Biden's probably going to win Oklahoma. All right, Texas. This one, true toss-up. True true toss-up. This is, you've got a couple of things going on. So Chuck Rocha obviously has been telling us all about the Latino organizing strategy. The problem for Bernie is that this time around, Michael Bloomberg has been competing with him on Spanish language airwaves, Spanish language periodicals, etc. And he's purchased quite a bit of professional organization. At the same time, Texas is a conservative state, more naturally inclined to Biden. People forget this, but the reason that Beto was able to come so close to Ted Cruz is because it's increasingly becoming suburban. The suburbs of Austin, suburbs of Houston, suburbs of Dallas, these are all Californians. They all make a lot of money. They have moderate politics. So those are people, natural Biden voter. That being said, the stratification, all of that, Bernie's got a decent chance, but this is the one I'm most uncertain about. And I think if Biden is to surprise anyone, he's going to win Texas tonight.
Indeed. And obviously,
Exactly.
when Biden predicted he's going to win Texas, they're throwing all in. That's where he had his big rally with Amy and Pete and Beto and everybody else.
Maybe, but I think Bernie's going to get Texas. I think Bernie's going to get Texas. Bernie's going to get Texas. I think. We got about an hour before I think the first polls start to close, the first exit polls in Virginia. So right now, CNN is talking about, like, they're looking at Maine, the state of Maine, to see what the voters are caring about the most. And you got 44% saying they care about a candidate that's going to bring change, 31% saying a candidate that can unite the country. Alabama, you have 33% saying that can bring change, 33% saying unite the country. Now, cares about people like me, and looking for a fighter. Okay, so a candidate that can bring change and a candidate that can unite the country is, you can kind of say this is what, like, mainstream media is kind of dividing Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden in those categories. Bernie Sanders is the one that can bring change. They're saying, Bernie Sanders is the one that can bring change. Joe Biden is the one that can, quote unquote, unify which is BS. Like, the reason that Bernie's won the first three primaries, or the caucus and the two primaries, is that he united, like, what's Nevada? That was completely uniting everyone. Wait, who is that? Is that California? Is that the governor of California?
He's at an ice cream shop in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, that's Mayor Garcetti is right next to him.
That's the mayor.
Should we listen in? Let's listen for a second.
The mayor of LA is chilling at a ice cream shop with Joe Biden with his glasses on because his eyes are cloudy because of his medication.
So they're getting ice cream in Los Angeles. One of the questions as we talk about the exit poll that David was talking about, but also focus on what we just saw, California, is how much will the momentum that Joe Biden.
You know what I'm saying? If Joe Biden doesn't become viable in California, which means if he doesn't win at least 15% of the vote, the Democratic vote, then he's going to get blown out. But one thing is what I realized is people are doing some real Game of Thrones type stuff. Like, if you think about, like I said earlier, one of the guys talked about he registered as a Democrat to vote. This is a Republican, registered as a Democrat to vote for Biden, so that he can help block Bernie Sanders. I wonder how many people are doing that. That's crazy. That's some crazy Game of Thrones type stuff, man.
It is all a delegate game. Having the W on the board is important. It's really about the numbers.
That's right. In New Hampshire, for example, Senator Sanders won the New Hampshire primary, but Pete Buttigieg was right behind him, and they both walked out of the Granite State with 9 delegates apiece, I believe.
So right now, Bernie Sanders is winning. He has 45. I think Biden has like 25 or something like that. Delegates going into Super Tuesday, going into today. So, you know what? I ran across this video with Hillary. She's so bitter. Somebody need to tell her, just sit your ass down and shut up. You're done. She's so bitter. She hate that she's not president right now. She hate that no one likes her. This is a video that somebody interviewed her. Somebody gave her the time of day. Let's see. Man. Let's see if I can get this video. It was short. It should be ready. But she's so bitter. She hates Bernie. Here you go. Let's see.
Hillary Clinton, for some reason, is still being interviewed on television. I think it's for her documentary series. But while she was on Good Morning America, she was asked about Bernie Sanders and whether she still harbors some ill will towards the man. I'll let you take a listen to that.
And really quickly, just curious to get your response to hearing that Bernie Sanders said that if he makes it to the convention with the most pledged delegates, that he should be the nominee. That's quite a bit of a change in his stance from 2016. Your reaction?
Well, my reaction
Look at her fake ass laugh.
We've got rules.
Oh, she irks the S out of me.
We had rules last time, and we have rules this time, and I think it's always a good idea to follow the rules. Everybody knew what they were when you got into it.
In the campaign, in the documentary, you talk about his campaign from 2016, and you call it, quote, just baloney, and I feel so bad that people got sucked into it. Do you still feel that way now?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you know, that was my authentic opinion then. It's my authentic opinion now.
Baloney?
Every time she talks about Bernie Sanders, like he ought to pay her to talk about him in this way.
Like earn me.
Yeah, it's like a super PAC for Bernie Sanders. Every negative thing she says about him.
A horrible person.
It's just the amount of resentment that is still there, like the cackling over. It's completely disingenuous too, but also like such a softball, like the way that they treat her. It's such a softball interview.
It's like she's a queen.
Yeah.
Not the failed person that she is.
Well, and like they're buddies and they're all in the club together.
Yeah, failed.
And,
You're
look
right.
at this ridiculous guy out here who wants to give everybody health care.
Very
Can you believe
telling
him?
that she's willing to knife him on the day of Super Tuesday. I mean, look, no secret, no love lost. She had played footsie a little bit. Remember a couple of weeks ago, she said, I will back whoever the eventual Democratic nominee is. But she's got to be giddy that he's getting his due in her eyes. And that their establishment is coming for him in this primary. So no surprise there. She hasn't really learned very much.
Don't worry about, hey, dog, don't be freaked out, bro. Don't be freaked out. Hey, go on Twitter. You can see me. You can see my graphics live, but don't be freaked out, man. What we got to pay attention to, bro, is the states is the states that he win, because as we go into the general election, that's what matters, because there's a lot of red states that's part of Super Tuesday that we're not going to win in the general election. That's going to go to Trump automatically. They're thinking that because Biden got this boost and he may win the southern states, those states ain't going to matter in the general. If it's about who can win, and obviously now we can talk about the DNC and what they try to contest Bernie's delegates when we go to the convention, but Bernie's going to win the states that matters for the general election, and that's without a doubt. And you know, the only one we can kind of be worried about right now is maybe Texas. But don't be freaked out, bro. I mean, I'm upset too, but what else was they going to do? You know what I'm saying? That's the strategy. You know what I mean? It's the DNC. It's the DNC. They don't give a fuck about what people want. They give a fuck about what they want, what's going to be great for them. We know that. And it is what it is. We just got to make sure that we on top of it, bro. That's not the narrative being embraced by the corp. Oh, I know. I'm watching it right now, man. I'm on. I was watching CNN, and that's all. But look, that's all they got. That's all they got. What else are they going to talk about? Like I was saying earlier, they're depending on our ignorance. They're depending on people to come in late and to just look at, oh, if he won the states in the South, he got those states don't matter in the general, because those states aren't going to go to us. The majority of those states that's up right now, we're more than likely we're definitely not getting Tennessee. If we get Tennessee, that'll be crazy. You know, North Carolina is it's a swing state, but it's more of a red state. It ain't purple. You know what I'm saying? So the states that they're talking about him winning, bro, he may win, but I'm a little nervous too. You know what I'm saying? To keep it 100, because all of a sudden it's just all the media. Like this dude Biden has not put any media, any money in any of these swing states, and all of a sudden he wins South Carolina. He don't have to put in any commercials. They stay on them 24/7. I swear to God, if we didn't have a coronavirus right now, all we would be hearing about is Bernie. Let me see. They're talking about Texas.
And the conservatives, 41% of the electorate, conservative or moderate. That's a significant chunk inside the Democratic primary.
Conservative or moderate. 41%. Come on now. Very liberal in Texas. For you got 26.
It's only 33% combined that call themselves moderate and conservative.
Well, interesting numbers indeed, aren't they? Thanks very much, John King.
But they're going to the Midwest and they're talking about they're in Minnesota. Like, dog, a conservative or moderate in the Midwest not voting for Joe Biden. Joe Biden he sponsored TTP. That's what that agreement took away all their jobs. They're not doing that. And also NAFTA. Come on now. None of that means anything to a conservative up there, period. If they're really thinking, I mean, if anything, maybe Michael Bloomberg would get that vote, but that's not going to Biden for sure. They don't like him. I'll never vote for no. Hey, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. But they did their thing though. They did their thing. You can't be like they did what they were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a battle. They did what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to do that. What they doing? What's up, girl? What's up, Grace? How are you? Go on my Twitter or my YouTube. Y'all can see the graphic, man. I'm out here. Oh, matter of fact, because I ain't put this up yet. Make sure y'all follow, like, subscribe to the channel so we can build this. This channel is going to shift too. I'm going to be talking about more than just politics because I got a lot more on my mind than just politics. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was giving some really good advice on relationships. I think I'm going to be talking about relationships too. I think I'm going to be talking about relationships too because, you know, who else should be? You know what I mean? I can give y'all a little hair room, tell you how you need to get everything up. What's up, love? What's up, mama? How you doing? You know, yesterday was my birthday. I ain't hear from you, baby. But it's 6:22. I'm about to shake because I got to go meet some people. Say bye to my friend's parents is out here. So I'm sign out right now. But it's Super Tuesday. I'll be here tomorrow. And when all the dust settles, the California's going to take a day, maybe a week probably because it's so big to count. But hopefully it takes, I said happy birthday. Oh, did you? My bad. Thank you. No, bro, I am the one to talk about relationships, man. I've been to some relationships, bro. For sure. Thank you. I appreciate you, love. I miss you, Grace. How you doing? Hopefully everything good. I don't know if you got engaged. I saw some ring. I don't know. You tell me. Sent the request to be in your live. Oh, did you? Oh. You tripping. Nobody gonna be able to see you though. Oh, you declined it. Maybe she logged off. But yeah, I'm about to head up out of here. Y'all be cool. I did you. Oh, congratulations! I just tried to put you in, but you declined the request. Request it again. Who's this guy, too, by the way, you getting engaged to? What the hell's going on in this world? He was the last person. I thought it was going to be me and you. No, I'm just playing. But congratulations, baby. I'm glad you're engaged. I'm glad everything's working out.